All right, so to do the a test here, we need to just hook all this up. So we have a 12 volt DC to DC power supply, and I believe that this is our 24. I need to write it down. It just won't run if it have it wired backwards. What we're going to do is we're going to hook up our battery to this. We're going to do it temporarily. It's not going to be perfect, but we're just going to run this for a few minutes to see kind of what things do. And I do have my power meter with a shunt, so we should be able to see what sort of a power draw and everything we're having. So I'm going to start hooking this up, and we'll see how it goes. It's a temporary. I'm just going to wire this up. Really hokey, but only need it for a few minutes. So we're just going to go like this. That's on one. And I know these are two black wires. I didn't have a red at the time, but I'm following to make sure that I have red to red and black to black at the end of the wires. Okay. So now we're going to turn on power on the battery, and then we're going to see what sort of voltages we get here. Okay, 13 volts to there. That's fine. We're just going to leave that be. Now what we can do is, actually, what we want to find out is how much voltage is over here. Make sure this is 24 volt. So this has got a power. What you got to do is you just got to power it up. So if I do this, we should see, yep, there it went up to 26 volts. So I have this wired the right way. So we are going to be able to make some cold air. Hot side over here. Now, one of the questions I actually have is, am I going to need to move the battery? And don't know entirely just yet. Okay. All right. Not sure how well you guys can see that there, but we're running 13.26 volts. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in our little power meter here. Not sure how well these things are going to be able to stay, how much you'll be able to see any of this stuff. Okay, so voltage on the bottom 13.26, voltage up top is 12.78. That's because we've not powered it yet. So I may have to do some sort of a switch in order to be able to disconnect this when we're not actually using it, just to not have a power draw. But that's actually switched through this little wire anyways. It's not going to power up to 24 volts. Well, shoot, yeah, I guess I'll want to do it switched completely. One more thing to do. Okay, so now we're going to plug in our unit. Okay. Got some. All right, so we're in cold right now, pulling 34 amps, and this is in the coldest setting. And we're getting, let's see what we're getting temperature wise here. $57. 32 degrees, so we're definitely getting cooling out of it. Drawing 48 amps. Again, this is on high. Oh yeah, that's cold. That is cold air right there. That is working good. Let's go on outside. Let's take a look, see what it's doing out there. So we got a hot side, a warm side. 85 degrees on the warm side. If I can find it. Yeah, you can definitely feel this is warm. It's pulling air in nice. It's a little noisy, but I think we'll work with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and change this to eco mode, which will be there. Let's see how much power that actually pulls. So we're back to just 2 amps. Again, the 2 amps is to get this thing to stay. All right, so I had to do a couple modifications. My battery, or the wires, were just not thick enough. So I have a inverter in here, and the batteries actually run underneath this compartment. And I have these really thick cables that I'm running. So I jumpered from here to my DC to DC converter. And then of course this is 24 volts, so it doesn't require as much. And this is the harness that came with the AC unit. So hopefully that'll get us enough juice for this to run happy. Otherwise I might have to get more creative. So we can turn this on here, and let me get the heat gun. Okay, so we're currently blowing 80 degrees. And we do want to get this guy installed. Okay, so compressor kicked on. We're currently at, what was that? 400 watts, 32 amps. And we are getting some cool air. Currently it's 88 degrees in the camper. I'm not going to run this for a long time, but we'll let it run for just a little bit here. Of course, nothing wants to lay the way you want it to. Alright, I'm going to set this up and I'll come back. Okay. There we go. So we're pulling 38 amps, 476 watts. It's pretty good. And our cold air, oh, you know what? Hang on a sec. Alright, I forgot to open the hatch, so our intake wasn't pulling any air, so I think maybe we'll be doing a little bit better here. You can increase the fan, I think. It's blowing nice and good. Around 58 degrees. Alright, so what I want to do is I'm going to change this to eco mode. Let's see what our amperage drops down to. All right, so I finished up my preliminary testing here, and everything works good. I'm a little disappointed on the amperage draw. It's about 50 amps, which is around 600 watts or so. I was expecting a little bit less on eco mode. It didn't seem to really matter between eco mode and regular mode, so I gotta look into that, see what's going on. But I will have 400 watts of solar on the roof, so in peak days, my amperage, I should only be pulling about 200 watts of power from the battery. So I'd say that's probably a pretty good success for what I need. And I could probably add maybe 600 watts of solar up there if I really worked at it. So that'll be a project for future. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this unit out of here. I kind of know where everything is. It's all kind of fitted. I'm going to kind of mark approximately where it's going to be so I can make sure to get it back in. And then I do have to drill a hole for my condensation line, which is going to go down underneath the dinette and then route it. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to route that, but we'll route it somewhere. And then I'm going to take all this wiring that I had to move, route it back up, and put my control panel back together so that my solar charger will charge up the battery and everything. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to record anything like that. I will catch you guys in the shop where I have the AC unit. And what I'll be doing is moving this control panel up to there. So what I have to do is take this out and put in extension lines and everything in order to run it up to that point. All right, so we'll see you guys in the shop.